Hey, Jason Mitchell here, pro staff for Shields. Like a lot of you, I'm getting ready for deer season, so I've been just getting blinds ready, getting stands ready, especially for the rifle season. A lot of times my rifle spots are a little bit different than my bow spots in the sense that, I'm just anticipating further shots. But, I still like to come in and just make sure the shooting lanes are clear, make sure that everything's ready to go. And one thing I like to do is try to be organized as far as what I have in my blind. Now, it doesn't matter if you're using just a really nice fiberglass blind that's got the foam insulation, or if you're just using a homemade wooden stand that's out in the woods, it's been sitting there for years. There's definitely some things that you can do to just make yourself more comfortable and more efficient. Probably the biggest things, you want to be comfortable, which usually means staying warm when it's cold out. Then the other thing is you want to be quiet. Even during rifle season, you anticipate maybe a 100-yard shot, but sometimes you get a 10-yard shot, and so you still don't want your blind making a lot of noise, especially if you have to move around. And so one thing I like to do on all my blinds before the season starts, which is what I've been doing right now, is I just go get some old carpet remnants. I like to put carpet remnants on the floor of the blind. I find that just lay a piece of carpet down, it just cuts down a lot of noise, and you can move around a little bit and just makes it that much more comfortable. I like to have heaters in the blind, and a lot of times I just leave this stuff out there, especially if it's on private property. I'll leave a lot of this stuff in the blind so that way I'm not carrying it back and forth each time. But just these little heat hogs, these are called the piglets. They can just run off a 1-pound canister, and turning it on is just simple as pushing a button. And that's all there is to it. Just turn it on throughout the day just to keep the edge off, and you just push the top button to turn it off. If it's really cold, say it's like below zero, you're gonna be all day sits, you can definitely use a bigger heater and even run it off of a bigger tank. But I find that for most of the fall, most blinds, that will warm it up, make it really comfortable. A lot of times I like to have just a 5-gallon bucket in the blind just for throwing bottles, garbage, whatever, where there's just not clutter laying around the blind. Something I love to have in every blind I'd recommend is shooting sticks. Even if you have a bench on a blind, you can adjust this up and down and just get your rifle settled on it just for steadying your shot. And so recommend shooting sticks to have in the blind, and obviously a chair. I've sat in just folding chairs like I'm sitting in now. I've sat in buckets with the lids on them with the padded seat. They all work. It's just whatever's comfortable for you. I have long legs. I'm a taller guy, and so I like to have a little bit taller chair where you can turn and not have to worry about making any noise. And so there's just a muddy chair, carpet remnant you can get for free at a carpet store, heater, 1-pound propane canisters, 5-gallon bucket, shooting sticks, maybe some other accessories that you might pack in that day as maybe some snacks, some bottled water, whatever you want to drink. Sometimes if people are doing stuff on your phone, for example, maybe you don't have patience, you have to play solitaire for part of the day, or maybe you have to check up on emails through part of the day just so that you can hunt more to maintain and keep up with work. Just a booster pack for your cell phone could be handy in a deer blind. But, biggest thing is make it comfortable so that you can take the duration, in the sense if you're just going in, you only stand to be there for an hour and you got to leave because you're not comfortable, you're not confident, it's probably not going to work as well for you versus being able to just stay in there and just have the patience to sit. And so I like to get everything ready and have everything in the blind. And the other thing is I like to have everything in the blind so that way I don't have to lug all this stuff out there every time I hunt, okay? I don't want to drive a machine right to where I'm hunting, right to the blind itself. I want to have everything in the blind already so that way I can just put rubber boots on, make a strategic route into the blind where I can get in without having a lot of presence. And so a couple of things, just some planning and some foresight. But what would you add? Put your comments below. I know I forgot something, don't say toilet paper, okay? But there's probably other things that you could have in your blind that makes or breaks your day. And so I'd love to know what you do, what you bring out to prepare your blind for this upcoming deer season.